Working for AIM is amazing. I love the fact that every day is different, so there's always learning. But we work with an amazing team of talented individuals, talented experts in the field. It's fun and relaxed. There's always people who are there to help you.
What we do is unique. We are changing people's life every day. The team is very diverse. And we got offices across the continent. And the good thing about all of this is we don't work in silos. You're gonna be working with the smartest guys in the environment, so which is good in terms of how you can learn. What we do is very impactful in terms of the quality of living of our people, and also in terms of bringing growth in the continents that we are currently investing in. So I think that those are the main things that make me happy every day when I wake up and then go to work.
It's a company where the people here are filled with innovative ideas, and you can come and you can see those things materialize into tangible results. We are impacting people's lives. There's a thing called Ikagi, and it's your reason to wake up in the morning, and it kind of fills that cup. And it's, you might be working on a spreadsheet, for example, or say reading a legal doc, but the outcome of that is something really tangible and amazing, in the greater scheme of things.
AIM is a very unique company. I enjoy the diversity and especially the culture within AIM and the Old Mutual Group. And there is loads to learn.
I found that the people here, care about you, and there's this culture of seeing you succeed and also allowing you to have, it's like almost an entrepreneurial spirit, and you can go out and craft your own journey, and the people are there to support you.
So AIM is probably one of the most unique companies on the African continent. And when you think about what we do from an impact perspective, but also the creativity that we bring to our work on a daily basis, is probably unmatched. So there are three massive megatrends that are happening globally in the infrastructure space, and they're happening even more quickly in Africa. And so if we take the first trend, digitalization, really is the increase in data consumption, which is giving rise to a generational opportunity to build out the communications backbone of Africa. The second trend is the energy transition, which is really trying to answer two questions. How do we get more power to people who need it in the most energy-starved continent in the world? And how do we do it in a way which is cheaper and cleaner than historically we've done it? And trend number three is investing behind the massive wave of urbanization that is happening on our continent. 90 million people a year are moving from rural areas to cities in Africa. So we're trying to look for smart solutions that enable the movement of both people and goods that is happening at a massive rate over the next 30 years. If you look at the impact that we've made across the continent over the last 20 years, it's millions of tons of CO2 being offset, it's communications infrastructure being put in, connecting thousands and thousands of people with broadband and internet connectivity. It's the logistics solutions that we provided, from roads to ports to storage assets. It's had a material impact on the day-to-day life of the average African.
When I joined AIM, there were literally 5 of us sitting around a small table and managing a very small fund, 800 million rands then. Felt like a lot of money then. Been wonderful seeing the business grow. We've grown from kind of a single business with a little office in Claremont to a business managing $2.5 billion with offices in Cape Town, in Johannesburg, in Abidjan, in Lagos, and in Nairobi. We've seen the gender diversity in the team change, the age profile. We've got people who've studied engineering, people who studied pure finance, accountants, economists. And so it's a very diverse team, which I think is unmatched from a skills profile anywhere on the continent when it comes to investing in infrastructure. So a wonderful growth over those 20 years. Our investment thesis is to provide our investors with superior risk-adjusted returns in the infrastructure space. And I think if you look at our track record, I think by and large, that's what we've done. The Ideas Fund started, it was 1999, to look at developmental and infrastructure assets in South Africa and in the sub-region. And over time, that fund has grown from, I think, a seed funding of about 300 million rands from Old Mutual to the current 22 billion rands that the fund is valued at. And the growth in the assets we've invested in is largely responsible for that large fund size, which is also testament to our investment process. We've grown our investments for pension funds in South Africa, which is our key clientele, and almost introduced them to a new asset class.
ESG within the investment cycle is kind of the way we incorporate our environmental, social risks into the investment process, how we identify those risks, how we manage them, when we're looking at deals. But then also the flip side of it is that we're looking to maximize our impact and then obviously look for ways to improve. So when we look at our impact, you can look at it at various levels. So often we collate our impact numbers across our portfolio. So if we're looking at energy, for instance, we look at what's the capacity, across our portfolio, how much energy we're generating, how much of that is renewable. But then, when you sit back and you think about just what that means for the families that, now have access to power. And so it just means you have people who now have access to electricity, they have access to mobile networks, they're able to establish businesses, they're able to expand their reach. The multiplying effect of that results in major economic growth. So for me, that's what makes what we do so incredible. And it's really rewarding to work for a company who takes ESG seriously, takes delivering impact seriously.
Because of the sort of entrepreneurial mindset we have, there's so much more we can do. There's new jurisdictions to explore. We have recently established a presence in some North African markets, in Egypt and in Morocco. So I'm really excited about the projects we're going to see in that part of the world. We've recently launched our joint venture for pan-emerging markets, Augment, which has made some investments in India and Brazil, and they're looking at investments in other parts of the world. Also, some very exciting things we're looking at on some of the assets we have on our books, including the launch of some renewables platforms, lots of interesting people joining the business, new colleagues, new thoughts. Yeah, I think generally the business is on a great trajectory, and I look forward to seeing what the next couple of years look like.
So over the last 20 years, we've made more than 65 investments. We've returned over $1.3 billion to investors. We've generated gross returns of over 18% in US dollar terms. And we've invested in 17 countries across the continent. It's been a spectacular journey, and we've learned a lot of things along the way. We've had some great investments. We've had some challenging investments, and I think what we're respected for by investors is being able to take the lessons that we've learned along the way and apply that into our strategy going forward. We believe that the potential of Africa is limitless. It's a highly dynamic place driven by a tremendous amount of young people, and that's the future. These are internet savvy, commercially savvy young people who are really going to drive the growth and the development of this continent. And we believe that as AIM, we're going to play a central part in that growth. So in 20 years' time, we hope that as a result of our investments, we've provided energy access to the millions of people all across the continent who don't have it. We want every home in 20 years' time to have an internet connection, to have power, and to have efficient access, route to market. So the future is very exciting. We look forward to the next 20 years. The future ultimately will be what we make of it, and the sky is the limit.